Should you mean by an instant? But anyway, let's get started. Ring ring.
Oh, hello.
Hey, bud, what's going on?
Hey,
Oh, how
how's
was
your
your
film?
how was your Memorial Day weekend?
Oh, it was nice. I had, you know, nice food and nice. I don't even remember what I ate, but
It must have been fantastic because we couldn't even podcast. You were so
hmm
busy.
I'm a very busy person.
I know. That's the
Well,
theme. That's the theme of the day these days.
I'm very
So
busy these days.
yeah. Any So that's it. Just just
Yeah,
ate a lot of food. That's all you did.
I tried a new pizza place
Oh
that's like a
God,
chain
I didn't
restaurant
even
I've
mean
never
to.
had.
I didn't even mean to open this box. Jesus Christ.
No,
Uh,
no. You ever heard of Marco's Pizza?
yeah.
I tried it.
Okay.
Wasn't bad. It actually, I thought it put like a Papa John's to shame. Had it because you get the flavored crust like Hungry Howie's. You
Hmm.
could flavor your crust. You could, you know, it was way better than like a Papa John's or anything. So the name bothered me a little bit,
Yeah,
Marco. But
me too. I mean, that's why I've never ordered it. I'll
I
principle.
I, I figured I was going to get food poisoning and have to call you to take me to the hospital. But
Would it be
have a
me
kidney
taking you to
removed
the
or something.
hospital? You'd have to.
Yeah,
You'd have
yeah,
to. You have to call Bobby while he's in town.
well, sure, sure. Uh, yeah, I tried. It was good pizza. I ate I actually ate six slices. Yeah, by myself.
Yeah, that's
So what
nothing.
does that tell you?
That's nothing.
Yeah. No, I honestly though, I actually am lying. I ate six slices. I uh somebody here ate one. There was one left. I came downstairs last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning to get a drink, and I looked. I flipped open the box. There still was that slice left. I ate it.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the cold. Just ate it right out of the box,
Well,
sitting on the counter.
there's no
Yeah.
time to heat and wait and.
No, no. Plus, I didn't want to wake anybody up and then them know I was eating a slice of pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was a hit and run. You know.
Is your microwave really that loud?
Yeah, you don't know. You never know.
That's
Had to
the
be
definition of
stealth.
shame eating right there.
Right. So yeah, so yeah, really, I was busy. I had a lot of stuff to do Monday, but running around doing some stuff. But yeah, it wasn't really that exciting.
That's funny. We had pizza at our little get together for the pay per view on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, some of us had
Speaking of,
pizza. Other people brought their own food as usual. So
well, let me tell you what I heard. A little birdie told me that they brought their own food, and and Huss gave him the fucking devil horns because he didn't share. So
oh,
I don't know if that's the true
did
story
he
or
tell
not.
you that?
Well, I may have poked the bear a little bit in a private message and said, because I was looking for content. So I said, hey, did you bring your own food to the pay per view? And he's like, what? I was like, no, did you bring your own food? Because you always bring your own food. But I was fishing.
This is Blake
And
that we're talking
Blake,
about.
right. And he said, oh, yeah, I brought my own food. And I think I upset Huss, which is your roommate. And I said, what'd you upset Huss for? He said, well, because I didn't bring any food to share. And I was like, what is this, Huss's first time? I mean, everybody in the world knows that you never bring food for anybody else.
Uh
Uh, I was just trying to get some content for today. So I poked the bear a little bit.
huh.
And,
Well, what did he say in
and
response to that?
he said, well, I always do it. I said, well, maybe one time you surprise them and bring food for everyone, thinking maybe I could trick him into bringing food. No, he's like, no, I forgot. He's, Blake Chadwickstein. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah. But then, what did he bring? First of all, he
Well,
didn't even tell me.
he comes over
Right.
and
AEW pay per view.
and Huss, yeah. Well, first of all, let's go backwards a second. So,
Right.
like for the full week, I was no selling his questions about coming over for the pay per view. Every time he would bring it up in the group chat, I would pretend like I didn't see it. He'd be like, "Hey, are you ordering the pay per view this weekend?" And
Right.
I just want to answer because like I know that's
Right.
I'm trying to get under his skin. I'm trying to fuck with him, but also it's like the answer is always yes, and always yes, you can come. It's like I haven't not
Right.
ordered an AEW pay per view, and I have never said yes, I've ordered it, but you are not welcome. So it's just a standing invite at this point, but he just
Right,
doesn't seem
right.
to get it. So he like asked once or twice, and I think even you noticed that I wasn't answering him. And
Okay, so wait.
yeah,
So let's go back. The first time I noticed, the first time he asked, because he said, "What are you guys doing for the pay-per-view?" You did not respond,
hmm
right? Nobody responded. So a little bit later, I realized this because I was like, "Oh, I see what's going on here." So I said, "So what are you guys doing for the pay-per-view?" Because I figured I'd poke the bear,
yeah,
and Marco responded as if he was going to come watch it or something. If you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll walk over if Huss and Ben get it. You still did not respond.
right.
And then he asked a second time. So he asked
But
twice.
not
I
this.
asked once
He
because
has
I was
second
poking
time
the bear.
like another day.
Right, a different day. I poked the bear the same day, knowing what I was doing.
hmm
Because I knew what you were doing. I was like, oh, this motherfucker. I was like, this is going to get good because I'm going to ask again because I just wanted to get him fired up because I knew it doesn't bother you because I knew what you were doing.
Right.
Like I know your game. Right. But I knew it would fire him up if I asked. Look, either way, if you responded to me, piss him off. If you didn't respond, it would piss him off. So I knew either way I was winning this competition here, this little thing I was doing. I knew it. But then again, he asked again, right?
Yeah.
It was the next day or something like that.
It was all of this was in like a maybe a
Right, right.
3 or 4 day window,
Right. Yeah.
and
And then
I didn't answer
did
him.
you respond?
No, I did not respond, and
Right.
then I let it go until Saturday, and then I think on Saturday or Friday night, maybe Friday night or Saturday, I was like, all right, I'll just because I don't want him not to come. So I was
Right.
like, I messaged him. I go, so are you coming or not on Sunday? He's like, he's replied something back like, oh, you never got back. You never answered me when I asked about it. And
Right, right.
I'm like, I just played dumb. I said, oh, I thought I was pretty sure I did. Maybe you missed it. So I
Right.
like,
But the funny part is when Marco responded to me,
yeah,
uh,
I know. I was laughing. I was laughing.
but right, because I think I responded back to Marco, and I think Blake even threw something in there, like, and then you read it. Obviously, we could see you read it,
hmm
so I know that was making him twitch. Yeah. Oh, that was great. Right, that was great. Yeah. And then the day of the pay-per-view, he made a comment of there was traffic or something, didn't he?
yeah.
I think on the thread there was traffic. He's always in traffic, that guy.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. He said like his Waze thing said it was going to take 60 minutes and it usually takes 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's when you should have said, well, you probably shouldn't have stopped to pick up the food.
I was, I was like, the weather was bad or something. I said, maybe it's bad weather. I don't know. What do you want?
Right, right,
What do you want from me? And
right,
I never bring up food because I want I enjoy
right,
I enjoy the privilege of then giving him the business about it when he shows up with food only for himself. So he knocks on the
right.
door and Adam goes, "I'll get it." And he runs over there and I hear because I don't have a view of the door. I hear like, "What do you got there?" Mumble
You got
bumble,
there.
mumble mumble. He's like, "You got it? Did you bring for everyone?" Mumble mumble. And then slam. He slams the door and I hear the lock click. And I see him walk back into the room, and he's like, "Blake's here, but he didn't bring us food." And then he proceeds to like just go sit down, like he was just gonna like he locked him out and wasn't gonna like let him back
Go
in.
back and get him.
So I'm like, "Are you really gonna? Are you really doing this? I got to get up and go let him in." So I had to get up and let him in. But yeah, and then he like I don't know, it was some place I'd never heard of that he got food from. And
Right,
he only just gets food for himself. And no matter how many times we give him the business about it, uh, like no one's asking him to even pay for it. It's like you could just say, "I'm going here. Does anyone want anything?" And we'll pay you back for it. Like we all have like
right,
Venmo and Cash App and
right,
all that
right,
shit. It's like no one's saying, "Hey, buy food," even though I'm buying the pay-per-view and hosting you
right.
every time. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you even showed up with a dozen donuts one time or something. But
anything, right?
anything, a bottle, a 1 gallon jug of water would be fine. It wouldn't even have to be
Right.
like a sealed. You could fill it from your sink at home, and I would have been more impressed than you showing up empty-handed every single time. So we're giving him the business about it, and I think at that point, I don't think
Right.
I don't think Blake was the first one there. I think Earl was already here, and uh, and so Earl's laughing too, and so because Earl's here, I'm kind of like, I'm like really like kind of driving my knuckles a little deeper into
Well,
Blake's
of
ribs,
course, right,
and
right, right.
and so we're and so Blake's trying to kind of defend himself because like in front
That's
of
what he
me he
does.
doesn't care, but
Right.
Earl is someone of a little more stature than just me and Huss, who he has no respect for, obviously, because he shows up with nothing. And he's like trying to say like, oh no no no, and I'm like, no, Blake, this is a thing amongst many people with you. Like this is something that we laugh about every single time it happens for years. And
Right.
he's like, no. And so and we're like, oh yeah, man. And like I don't know if he bought it or not, but that was it didn't settle down. So I think it was you that brought it up on Blake made a post on
Right.
Facebook like that
Of course
night
I did.
or the next
Right.
day where he was talking about he's become the person who falls asleep before the main event, you know. And I made a joke, oh buddy, you fell asleep like 3 matches before the main event, and
Right.
and then I also said it. I don't remember what he said, but I was like, usually, it's right around the time that a foreign object is introduced into the event, which I was referring to smoking, because
Right.
him and Marco smoked, and then like usual, Blake passes out, and he does what I call the his patented head drop, is his wrestling move when he's falling asleep. His head keeps dropping down, and he's
Right.
nodding off like my old boss Seth Gregg at a morning meeting when he's taken one too many pills. So we're making fun of him for that, and you just jump in with the food thing. I don't remember what you.
Well, I mean, I said, I said you wouldn't be talking about. I think I said something like you wouldn't be talking about the food he didn't bring, or something like that. Like I don't think I wrote food, but I think I alluded to that there was food brought that he didn't
Well,
didn't care to,
this is important that you brought it up on Facebook, only because our buddy Raphael chimed in on it and validated the
Right.
fact that this has been going on for a very, very long time. Because he said something to that.
Because he had been there.
He said,
right.
And Raphael has been in my house for like 2 years, like the last Royal Rumble.
Right.
And when he said that it's a thing, like that, it was a common occurrence even back when he was hanging out and stuff.
Right.
It kind of reinforced the whole thing that we've been saying that Blake's had this track record for fucking ever.
I said, assuming you're not talking about the food he brought, ... for himself, ...
Yeah.
You said that too, which happened again. And Raphael said, I'm pretty sure I've seen Blake Chadwick in this demographic for a long while.
That's like the slam
Wow.
dunk, because that's an unbiased outside source totally coming up.
Right.
Just swooping in out of nowhere.
Swooping in.
Swooping in.
Right.
And
Right.
totally verifying my side of the argument that we were having that night.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And plus, Raphael hasn't been around in a while, but that just shows you how long this has been going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably dates back to the days when Jackie was having pay-per-views, hosting them at his place.
Yeah.
So, because that's when Raphael used to go a lot, because he lived down in that area.
Right. Yeah, right. So this isn't, and we've been talking about this forever. Him bringing, and look, to me, it's rude. It's rude to bring your own food. And first of all, he's coming to your house where you are providing this pay-per-view experience, this watching. You got to pay for the pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're paying for it, $50, right? you're having everybody in your house. The least he could do is bring something as a even if he brought even if he brought a fucking Entenmann's coffee cake as a peace offering for you letting him watch it there. Something. The
Right.
fact that's fucking rude to me.
I
That's
mean,
rude. Like you don't go
it's
to somebody's house like that,
at least it's not like
and
the
don't bring
time
something.
before where he brought a girl over and had
Right,
nothing but food for him and her.
right. No, to me, I'm sorry. It's rude. That's very rude.
I told you about that
Very
one,
rude.
right?
Oh, I heard about that one. Yeah, and then Marco snapped a pic of them both sleeping on the couch.
Right, they both passed out. Well,
Yeah,
she passed out about as soon as she got there because it was wrestling, and I don't
right,
think she's into
right,
wrestling.
right,
And
right. She probably wasn't into Blake either, but yeah.
right.
So,
Well, I mean, they're
yeah.
not together anymore, so there's that.
No, no, right, right.
By the way,
No.
I did ask about that. Should I air that dirty laundry out here?
Oh no, I don't know if we should air that.
I mean, it wasn't
No.
what he told me wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, yeah, she just expected me to pay for everything all the time.
Yeah.
Even when I wasn't like participating in something. If she wanted if we were driving around and she wanted me to swing through Dunkin' Donuts for a coffee, she expected me to pay for it even though I wasn't getting
Yeah,
anything.
but I gotta tell you, I don't know. Like
No,
you take the pay per view bringing food without like, and you put that story together with the.
I agree
I
that
might be on her side on this one.
well,
Maybe he told his version of the story.
I agree that that it could still just be him being a cheap fuck.
Right. Right.
He may not be including the fact that every time they went to dinner, he expected them to split it. You know, he may have
he's
painted
that guy.
he
What a
may have painted
Seinfeld
the pic,
episode
he
that
may
is.
have painted the picture a little rosier
Right.
to make himself not look so
Right.
bad.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
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 Now
I
I
truly
just
believe that.
dude, I trust me. I just assume every relationship he's ever had has ended in either a George Costanza or Larry David scenario. Not even a Jerry Seinfeld
No,
kind of ending.
no.
Definitely a George or
Right.
or a
There's-
Larry
yeah,
David
right.
kind of
Right.
ending. You know, so
100%. No doubt about it.
I love burying Blake. By the way, I mean, I don't think
yeah.
people even know who Blake is, but
No.
but like they kind of have a sense from this.
Right. Right. Yeah. No. I feel like he's not telling the whole story with the girlfriend thing. But
Well,
whatever. I mean,
well, he's
You
know
know.
he's
I'm just saying. Look, I'm. I don't like taking your side either, but I gotta take your. Like he is. Like, and it's not even. This has been going on for so long. Now it's just a joke to us. Like he doesn't bring anything. But man, like that is like incredibly rude. Like I don't know if his father would approve. Neil may not think this is okay.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know which is worse: to show up empty-handed or to show
Right.
up with your own
Right.
stuff just for you.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse the way what he's doing. Empty-handed, you can get okay.
Well, my
you
point
get-
my point is empty-handed means that like he may end up like eating your stuff and drinking your drinks. But if he's showing up
Right.
with food, he's at least not like further mooching. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like if you're going to be stopping on the way, like it's different
Right.
if you're like have something in the fridge and you're just bringing it already. But if you're
Leftovers, right,
if you're
right.
leaving early and making a trip somewhere
Right.
before coming to my place to take care of
Right.
yourself,
So can I tell you what it is though?
you should
I'll
really
tell you what it
just
is.
like fucking send a message going, does anyone else want anything from
Th-
Cheesecake Factory or this place or that place?
No. Listen, I'm going to tell you why. Now this goes with what you just told me about his girl. Is this? He's afraid if he calls you and says, "Hey, I'm stopping here. You guys want something?" that he's going to get stuck with the bill, and he ain't paying for nobody apparently, not even somebody who's putting out.
Well,
So he's afraid.
he might have to
that-
front it for an hour until he gets
Oh,
here or
come
something
on!
like
That's like asking somebody for a kidney.
that.
Come on, like
This is true.
like he is afraid of that, and that's why he's afraid he's going to get stuck with the bill.
Right.
100%.
He's dealt with too many promoters going
Right.
just send me a money request for the Uber and I'll get you later for it. And then they never
Right,
do.
right. Now I'll tell you, if you like, you know, Did you guys order food for yourselves after?
Marco and his wife ate before they came over. They'd come over late.
Right,
Earl said he was straight. He didn't want anything.
right,
So it was just me and us. So we got pizza.
right.
We got Jets pizza.
Right. Well, yeah, yeah. What a fucking asshole. And how is Earl all right? What is he trying to make a comeback? I see him. He's on the. Earl used to play in the NFL. I see he's every morning. Oh, stretching at the Fort Lauderdale Pier, and he's like he's working out. I almost feel like he's just doing the stretching and then he goes home after the pictures.
He might.
But right. But every morning now he's got this new thing where he's posting his like he's training for something. What is he training for?
Well, maybe warm-ups are enough for him now. He does some warm-ups, some stretching. That's his workout. I don't know.
Jesus. You know, these guys, him and the Billy Fives of the world playing what does Billy play? Pickleball? What does he play? Whatever those old people play?
Handball, right?
He plays pickleball.
I don't even know what
like
pickleball
60.
is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, Billy plays it, so the old people play. So,
these
guys.
the retirement crowd.
Right.
AARP people.
AARP guys, yeah, stretching at the and it's always in front of like the water, like like he's gotta rub it in that he's made some NFL money and he lives by the water.
Oh,
I know his game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Listen. Here's the thing with Earl. He's still a young man. He's in his 30s.
Right. He's not even old. Right.
He's played 10 years. And he's only been out of the league a couple. So I don't think he's even 35 yet. So he's a young dude with money and a lot of fucking time on his hands. So for him to put himself out there to maybe hook a few fish here and there, you know what I mean? To get a few nibbles on the line without having to go on like a fucking dating app or something else, it's
right.
You know what I mean? So I just
I know, but come on. Guys like him and Billy and Gangrel and come on.
Gangrel. I didn't watch the Rampage that he appeared on.
I saw the clips.
AEW.
Right.
I saw clips later, but they were saying that he's
right.
He's really got a hitch in his giddy up these days.
First of all, he walks like he's bow-legged to the ring.
His hip or knee, I don't know which it is.
He's bow-legged now, and then he missed the kick, like he airballed it. But it wasn't his fault. It was more Brandon Cutler's fault. But then he grabbed him and kicked him and did the impaler. He was so pissed, I think, that he didn't feed for the kick. He kind of stopped. That when he did kick him and he hit him with the impaler, he dropped him straight on his fucking head, like literally full speed. And I could tell that was like, you made me look like an asshole, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Cutler guy didn't.
And Cutler's probably fucking honored to almost get paralyzed.
Oh, yeah.
With a legend.
Fucking DDT from Gangrel.
Yeah, right. So it worked out,
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I watched that clip. I watched the pay-per-view after the fact. I didn't really watch it that night. I watched it after, but I thought
it was weird because I saw you talking about it when you had said you weren't going.
So
you
I was
didn't
watching
think you were going to get
some
it.
of it.
Yeah.
But then I finished it. And it's too long, man. That's insane. How long their pay-per-views
It's
are.
funny. I watch because Tony Khan, the owner, he does those media scrums afterwards. Where like he's like they've got the backdrop and they come out and they do interviews for the press. It's him and they bring in 2 or 3 or 4 performers to answer questions, and Tony answers questions afterwards and during the others.
Right.
And so they had like 3. I think they had 3 people. I think it was Jericho. I think it was CM Punk, and I think it was Jade, who answered some questions, each of them, and then Tony always answers like an hour plus worth of questions afterwards.
Right.
But he was kind of defending this, like making the pay-per-view so long. And he's like comparing it to like MMA. He's like, well, they have like a fucking, 6 or 7 hour card, with all the undercard stuff.
Right. Which is true.
Et cetera, et cetera. And our main event, even as late as it went on this time, a UFC main event never goes on that early.
Right.
And I'm like, I get it, but these are wrestling fans, and they have not been conditioned over 25 years of doing this one way to be okay with it another way, So
Right.
His
No,
argument didn't hold a ton of water because it's a different circle of fandom that never, they're not used to doing that. It's like UFC has been doing it for 25 years. They started
right.
main events starting at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night and running till 1.
Right.
That's the way it is because that's the way it's been for a long time. So they don't
Right.
complain
Yeah.
about it. I know I do when I have to watch a UFC event, and I'm like, oh my
Right.
god, why is it running so long? But so he was kind of comparing it to that kind of stuff. But it was too long. His
Too long.
he had he had some rationales. He was like, well, if Game 7 of the Heat and Celtics runs, we don't
Right.
want our main event running against it. I get it.
Right.
And you can't.
I get that too, right? Because basketball put a hammering on wrestling, Raw and WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
Just plus you got hockey playoffs. I mean, this is a tough time of year to. You got you got 3 sports going at the same time. 2 are in the playoffs. Pretty tough.
And then then it's like you don't want to be in a position where
Right.
you've ran everything normal length, and then
Right.
then like the Heat Celtics game goes into overtime, and so your last match before your main has to go an extra 20 minutes. So you want to kind of like start expanding. You throw an extra match in, and you also expand like the last 3 or 4 to make them run longer,
Right.
so that like. But then the problem is if you've expanded everything and now you have 2 matches left, but the basketball game ended on time or early, you can't like abridge one of those. You can't cancel one of those.
Right.
So then you've way overextended yourself. It's kind of like you damned if you do, damned if you don't on how you actually handle it.
Right. No, I agree.
And he's such
he's
such a stats guy. He was like, he's talking about, oh, well, when we were going to put it on Saturday or Sunday, I mean, the odds of going to Game 6 or going to a Game 7, because I think on the other side, they ended early. So in hindsight, they should have put it on Saturday. But when you're scheduling months in advance and you're going, well, there's way lower odds of hitting a Game 7 than a Game 6. So let's put it on the Sunday, and then it all fucks you. It all fucks you, when it actually happens. They don't go to a Game 6, and we did go to a Game 7, and he chose wrong. But who would?
But to note, right? He's very analytic. He's analytical. He's an analyst.
He owns a sports analytics company.
Right. He is like, and I mean, first of all, I think that guy's got to be on something. I don't know how somebody stays hype that long. Like, and not only that, you got to think his soccer team plays while we're sleeping. Like, this guy must never fucking sleep.
He must be one of those people that only gets like 4 hours of sleep a night and functions like The Rock and like some other like really high functioning, successful people and stuff.
Successful people,
business people and stuff. Like I think Trump only sleeps like 4 hours a night. And,
I guess there's not much time to sleep, right?
But
yeah.
Well, if you or I tried to get 4 hours of sleep a night, we wouldn't. It would. After a couple of nights of that, we'd be useless.
Yeah, usually I can go 2 or 3, and then I crash for a night, and then I can do another couple. But yeah, no, I can't do that.
But this guy's he's like got to be on the spectrum. Because he's like a Rain Man when it comes to like it's funny because when you watch these media interviews, he's normal. Right. He may talk fast and be like very excited and pumped up, but he's got like every fact ever at his disposal in his brain. He not only does he during this media scrum like talk about the analytics of this, that, and the other thing about like running Saturday or Sunday, Game 7, Game 6, yada yada. He's also like giving down breakdowns of matches and the viewing cycles from a show 2 years ago. He starts listing off shows during the pandemic era and what happened on them we're talking 2 years ago, and he's doing them in order with without looking at anything. He then starts talking about football, and he's drawing these like fucking outcomes from games from like 4 years ago here, 6 years
Right.
ago there.
He's
It's
so
not
good at
even
that.
just
Right.
wrestling. It's
Right.
everything. It's football.
Right. His memory is like insane.
Yeah, it's insane. He knows,
Yeah.
like you could literally, but for wrestling, it's like you could literally can't stump him. If
Right.
you
Right.
could
Right.
name any promotion, I mean within reason. You're not like starting getting into
Right.
the muck of the indies, but like any
Right.
real
Right. No
promotion,
ICW here.
any real promotion over the last 30 years, maybe 40, give a give a date, he will tell you the venue, most of the card, if not all of the card, who went over who, finishes.
Right.
I mean, like, it's insane. It's insane. But then when you have him,
Yeah.
and he seems normal when he's talking about all that stuff, but when you have him in front of a camera, like on TV,
Right.
he just doesn't know how to be normal.
Right. Right. He's like just like he's so spazzed in his eyes and his like the way his voice, the way he talks,
His
like,
voice, his
he's
delivery,
out there.
his body movements,
Yeah.
everything.
Right. 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 Yeah.
But when he's
Totally off
sitting
his
like
rocker.
on that media scrum again, he's just sitting there in a chair
Right.
in front of a table talking to people one after another when they ask questions. Totally normal. Totally normal.
Right. And
It's-
you got listen. It's JoJo, our friend of the show. He is back on this. WWE is the best kick, and I hate AEW.
I don't know how
watch
I don't know where he comes to that conclusion, but
Right. So lately, like that's his thing. He hates Punk. Punk's disrespectful. I'm like, it's fucking fake. It's fake wrestling. Stop it. Because Punk is trash as WWE. He's like, oh, he would have been nothing. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. It's fake. But he's like, oh, Tony Khan, he hates him, and I'm like, that guy's a fucking genius. Like, you're seeing him as a wrestling guy. Listen, he is way more than a wrestling guy. He's an NFL, part owner of an NFL. He's his dad. He owns a soccer team. He owns an analytics company. He owns so many things. He's a fucking genius, Tony Khan.
and
He's
he's
a genius.
and he's younger than you guys.
Right. Absolute genius. But yeah, you can't. Come on. WWE product is so weak. I don't know how you can defend that. The Roman Reigns and the Usos, they're fantastic. Orton and Riddle, fantastic, but Orton's hurt, I guess. But
I mean,
I do believe Roman Reigns is. I mean, he's
there's
the
some,
guy is
there's some
totally
gems.
changed.
There's some gems. It's
Yeah.
not like the whole thing's garbage. It's just
No,
that, like,
right.
but it's literally like if someone swallowed a couple of quarters and now you're picking them out of their shit, that's
Right.
the rest of the show is just total shit. So
Right. True story. So, yeah, but I think he's a genius, that guy. So I can't knock him.
I'll tell you,
Can't knock him.
I'm sick of the MJF thing already.
Me too. I think he's an idiot. I think he is. What he's doing, Vince won't fuck with him.
Shane David. He keeps sending me like links to articles about this, and it's always like nobody knows what's really going on. It's all like it's all conjecture and stuff. And I can tell him I don't care. And honestly, what I've read out of it is that the guy wants a raise,
Right.
but doesn't want his contract extended.
Right.
That doesn't happen in sports,
Right.
like in real sports or in wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you
Doesn't
agreed
happen.
to this contract. You signed
Right.
this contract. We're both obligated to it. And in AEW, they don't cut you. They just pay out your contract and then don't re-sign you. There's no sport, no NFL, any of those where it's like, I want more money, that they just rip up the contract and give you a new one for time remaining, but more money.
Right.
The give and take is
Out of his mind.
the give and take is we're going to give you more money, but you're going to agree to
Right.
play for us longer. So it's like
Right.
we're buying an extension and we're going to pay you really well for it. And from what I can
Right.
tell, he wants to be a free agent in 2024. And it's like,
Right.
well, then you're going to only make what's on your contract until then. And you
Yeah.
signed a rookie
Yeah.
deal. And you can't
But also,
be
reading some of
mad
this shit,
that you're a rookie
Yeah.
making and you're now playing like a superstar.
but also pulling some of the shit he's pulling with, like, I've seen not telling them he's doing certain, like, radio shows and this and then. Like, Vince doesn't play that shit. WWE will cut you quickly and be like, "Nah, bro." Like, even acting like that, wanting a raise, they don't play that game.
Well,
Like, he's making himself look like a fool.
if you want more money, the WWE would sit down and talk to you, and if they feel like, okay, you're outperforming your
Right.
contract, they're going to do the same thing. If
They're
they
going to sign
agree
you for a
to it,
longer contract,
they're
right?
exactly. And
Right.
so that's silly. And then like the threat of not showing up, you got to do business.
Right.
Like that's if you think you're
Right.
going to the other place,
Again, they won't put up with it.
they're not gonna be interested in you if you show that you do these types of things. You can't,
Right.
you know. And so it was good that
Okay.
he showed up,
Right.
did the job, and
Got jobbed out.
right, whatever it was, but he showed up and did the
Right.
job. It's like
Right.
it's like someone must have been like, dude, you can't not show up. Especially they've been
Right.
building that up for like 3 months.
Yeah. Well, really longer than that when you think about it, the long term
Well,
build on that.
definitely, yeah, that's a 2 or 3 year program. But the
Right.
recent,
No, but fuck yeah, I think he's being an idiot, honestly. But it is what it is.
yeah, I'm just saying that like the whole arc.
It makes me not like him or want to even like. It makes me literally be like, what a piece of
Oh
shit.
no,
Like, how does he not get it?
this last week has completely soured me on him. I don't care if
Right. Me too.
I don't care if I ever see him again on TV. To be honest with you,
No.
I'm like
No. And right.
like I'm done, and I look at it. I'm like I don't see him doing all the extra stuff that a lot of these other guys do. I don't see him going above and
Right.
beyond and being,
Right.
he doesn't even look like he's friends with anyone else there. He doesn't
Right,
show up
right,
in their
right.
in their photos. He doesn't have people in his stuff. He doesn't participate in any of the like. They don't do up down down here, but they all these people have vlogs and everyone's in
Right. No.
everyone's.
No. Yeah, he don't do
He
anything.
never does any of that stuff.
And honestly, Wardlow became the bigger star for me.
I
That guy's a
mean,
star.
yeah,
He's a star.
yeah. I
He
don't
is a
know.
star.
It's a different thing. I think it's a different thing. But yeah, like
I don't know.
there were. I just know that there were two arguments. There was it was that he wanted more money, but didn't want to. But like you can't.
Right.
There's no more money without an extension. It does not work that way in
Nope,
any
doesn't happen like
in
that.
any sport. And then
Right.
B, they were saying he resented the fact that there were all these guys coming in and immediately get
Right.
paid more than him. But I'm like, it's Christian and Mark Henry and guys like that, and I'm like, they've been to the
Right.
biggest
right,
of big
right.
shows, proved
Right.
that they're stars, had decades-long careers at the top,
Yeah, you can't compare yourself
drawn
to
money,
that. Right.
and have put the time and the work in
Right.
to be worth that money. You sign a rookie deal, and you may be worth more now, but you don't between those. You can't compare yourself to those guys and be mad they're getting paid more than you. You can't be
Right,
mad
I
about
agree.
it.
You can't compare yourself to those
Especially
guys.
when
No,
I see
not those guys.
Mark Henry is way more valuable
Right.
than you are in every
Right.
aspect
Christian, right.
except
Oh,
on
God,
TV. Mark Henry is
Right.
helping everyone that wants help there. He does all the
Right.
community outreach stuff. And
Yep.
he was like one of the best scouts for the WWE. He brought them
Right.
some like fucking huge names. Some huge
Right.
names. I forget the
Yeah,
list.
no, I agree.
Now he's
no,
doing
you
it
can't
for
compare.
AEW. It's like it doesn't even
Right.
compare. They're getting their
Nope.
money's worth out of him. They're not overpaying Mark Henry at all.
No.
Even if he
Or
never
Christian right.
even if he never appeared on TV.
The Hardys,
Yeah.
no, fuck that guy. Yeah. Well, I got one last bit of news. We're gonna have a special guest this week, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be for our Monday podcast coming up next week. It's a very special guest. I gotta nail down which day. It may be this week, it may be Monday, but it's gonna be one of the 2 days. We are finally gonna get on Howard Brody to the show.
Howard
He's
Brody.
going to be on the show. Howard Brody. He was president of the National Wrestling Alliance at one point. He's got wrestling stories upon wrestling stories. But the big question that I'm going to ask him, I need him to tell me how fruit happened, where I sat at a wrestling show for 15 hours and only got fruit.
Fruitgate?
I need to know. We never got Fruitgate. We never got a real answer from him about this. So we're gonna let him talk wrestling, and at the end, I'm gonna punch him with the fruitcake right in the mouth because I need to know. Because if I feel like if I ask him in the beginning, he may just hang up, and we won't
No,
have a show.
he'll talk.
Right,
What else is he gonna do? He's got nothing but
right,
time on his hands. He'll be very
right,
excited to be on. He loves. Listen, he's constantly calling you and Blake, and you guys keep avoiding him. So
right,
he's dying to
right.
talk. Always dying to talk. So trust me, we may even
Well, I'll nail it down here
open
for
with it.
it'll be. We'll have Howard Brody on, uh, some good stories, and we'll find out what happened with Fruitgate. But yeah, and then you can see that the voice I do for him is really what he sounds like.
Right. Are
So
you gonna
yeah,
do
so
duel? Are you gonna be like dueling banjos? You and him?
I may save that for the end. But I also do want to play a game with him, which at the end, after we ask him about Fruitgate, we're gonna do a little word association. I've got some names that I'm gonna throw at him, and I think just for our own shits and giggles, it's gonna be funny. So
Oh,
I got some
are these
stuff.
names all gonna be trigger words
Oh yeah.
like Lou Spector and
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah,
right?
and I'll throw like a real one in there in between. But yeah, so we'll have that coming up. Our first, well, it's not really our first guest, but Billy and Bobby don't count. Our first real guest to the show. So with actual good news, not Billy talking about pickleball and you know drinking at the bar, and Bobby
Can we
talking
just
about
let's just
dingling TK's wiener. Yeah.
Billy's about 6 months away from shuffleboard.
Right. Right. He probably does it already. We just don't know. Out there on Hollywood Beach with all the Canadians. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna get that settled. But that's all I got. I'm actually gonna go get some ice cream right now before the ice cream shop closes at 9:30.
I
So
I was getting the vibe you were rushing to wrap
yeah, I
this up.
am because I want ice cream. They close at 9:30. So
It's quite an
yeah,
existence
yeah.
you have.
Well, I'm not 280 for no reason. So yeah.
Are
Anyway,
you got to be more now, right? Huh?
no, 280 still. I've been
280?
walking a lot. Yeah.
Oh,
So all right, that's all I got.
good enough.
Goodbye.